Hey, what's stopping you? What stops you from living your best life? What stops you from achieving that goal or creating that thing or doing that thing or being, doing, and having anything and everything that you want to be, do, and have in this lifetime? What is stopping you from accessing your full potential? What is stopping you? That is the topic of this video, and this video could very well be the most important video I ever record for my channel in terms of personal development, personal growth, and life mastery. Let's get into what is stopping you, because the answer to that question is many things, really, and they all relate to this channel: life mastery, you living your best life, personal development, personal growth, being the best you can be, accessing your full potential. The answers to the question of what's stopping you, like I said, can be many things. It can be bad habits, a lack of clarity, a lack of focus, a lack of discipline, a lack of confidence, a lack of self-esteem, or feelings that you even are worthy or deserving of having and doing and being, the best that you can be, do, and have the things in life that are, that make life worth living. If self-esteem is an issue, there's an underlying subconscious belief, a limiting belief system that you're not deserving of that, you're not worthy of that, and so you'll stop yourself every time until you conquer those limiting beliefs. So the answer, again, could be lots of things, and a lot of those things I just mentioned: doubt, uncertainty, lack of confidence, lack of focus, lack of discipline, blah, 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 blah. We've heard it all before, but the number one thing that stops you, you may have heard it before, and I'm here to say, nope, that's not it. It's not what you think. And what you probably think, of course, I don't know what you think. I'm not a psychic, but what you probably think is what you've probably heard. And what you've probably heard about what stops you is fear. Fear is the number one thing stopping you, right? Wrong. Not according to me. According to a lot of life coaches and personal development experts, fear is the number one thing that's stopping you. You may have even bought into that. And I'm here to say that it's true. Fear can and does stop us from achieving things in our lifetime, right? Things that we want. Fear can stop us for sure. False evidence appearing real, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before. You know the acronym, feel the fear and do it anyway. You've heard all of that. And all of that is good stuff. I believe in that stuff. But I'm here to tell you that this is not the thing that is stopping you. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story first, okay, before I reveal what I believe is the number one thing that stops you from achieving, being, doing, and having all that you deserve to achieve and be and do and have. I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay, there was a baby, or a bunch of babies, and they were born into a terrorist organization, a little terrorist organization that you may have heard of called Al-Qaeda. Now, why do I bring this up? Because I'm telling a story, and it's a true story, but I want to get into what drives us, okay? That's the purpose of me telling this little story that I've told before on the stage, in front of people. I've told it to clients and students, etc. And I tell it for a purpose, because babies are not born into this world with any belief system at all. Babies, the imprint on a baby's mind when they're born into this world, they're basically pure essence. They're just, that's who they are. It's just, they are their essence. They are pure essence. And they are born into this world with two knowns in the subconscious mind, and that's fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Because those two things threaten to the baby's mind their survival, right? So we know our subconscious mind is a survival mechanism. It's in charge of, our survival. But our subconscious mind gets programmed as we grow and as we learn and as we develop as human beings. Babies aren't born with any knowledge or any belief about anything. So if babies are born into a terrorist organization, as I'm using in this example, then they are going to learn and develop and be programmed mentally, subconsciously, and consciously by that religious group or that terrorist organization, and they're going to take on the beliefs and the needs and the values of that organization. And as they grow and as they grow into teenagers and adulthood, they're going to learn from that environment that they are in. They're going to learn about their religion, about what that organization believes is to be true. And we know the power of belief, right? We know that beliefs could be one of the things that's stopping you. In other words, if you believe you can't, you're right. If you believe you can, you're right. Belief systems are powerful. And by the way, since I'm thinking about it, every one of the things I've mentioned so far that could be stopping you, including beliefs or doubt or anxiety or fear or lack of confidence or anything else that I've said in this video so far, deserves its own video. So stay tuned to this channel if you like anything I'm about to tell you, because my deal is life mastery. And if you're, interested in mastering your life, then hit the subscribe button right now, because I promise I'm going to be bringing value to you and serving you in every way that I know how. Okay, now back to the belief systems of this baby born into this organization. As they grow, we know they have a set of beliefs. One of them is the Western world is the devil, right? We are evil. We must be taken out. There's a belief system built around being a martyr and martyrdom and all of the stuff that goes in. With the baby, going back to the baby wasn't born with any of that crap. The baby was born pure essence. The baby didn't know any of that. But as they grow and as they get brainwashed and as they take on these belief systems, then they develop a set of needs. So out of what they believe, they have certain needs that need to be fulfilled. Well, they need to be right about what they believe. They need to be a martyr. They need to protect. They need to, they need to attack the Western world and defend what they believe is, right according to them. And so what do? Out of what they believe and what they need and what they value, what's important to them, in other words, what they value, they think about. That generates thinking and thought patterns and ways of imaging in their mind, whether it's true or false. It's true for them about the United States, about the Western world, and then they speak about it. And then as they think about it and they speak about it and they have these beliefs and these values and these needs and these thought patterns, they get emotional about it. They have emotion, energy in motion. And finally, they take action. And they organize and they plot and they plan and they fly airplanes across the pond, across the ocean, and kill themselves because they believe in martyrdom. They believe in life after death and everything that goes with that. And they fly planes into buildings in the United States to attack the Western world based on, and killing themselves and thousands of other people. Of course, I'm referring to 9/11, based on what they believe. So it starts with beliefs. Yeah? Okay. I tell that story just to set a baseline for what's really stopping you and what could really start you in achieving your best life. I tell that story as a baseline so I can refer back to it, because beliefs, values, needs, thoughts, thinking patterns, emotions, the way we speak, all of that is an ingredient of who we are. Who we are, who you are in the face of fear is what's stopping you. Not fear itself. Who you are in the face of fear. In fact, fear is a good thing. It's what stops you from walking out in traffic. It's what stops you from jumping off of a building. It's what stops you from picking up a rattlesnake. Fear is a survival mechanism, and it's a good thing. But when it stops you from living your best life and achieving the things that you are here to achieve and want to achieve and deserve to achieve and have and do and be in this world, and a lot of you listening to this video, the world needs you. We need what you have to offer. People around you need what you have to offer. If you're stopping yourself from doing that, you're doing not just yourself a disservice, but the world in general. And if there's ever been a time when the world needs more of what you got, as long as what you got is here to be a beneficial presence on the planet and to serve and to help and to grow, and if your talents are, whatever your talents are, serves the rest of us, we need you. The world needs you. You need you. You need you. Okay? But it's who you are in the face of fear. In other words, your identity. This is what's really stopping you. Your identity. This is what could really start you if you knew who you were and were true to that. If you were, as they say, standing in your truth. If you had the ability to stand in your truth and be your authentic self. And be who you're meant to be who you are, and be who you can be. And your identity is not fixed, by the way. I've had many identities in my lifetime, and it keeps evolving. It keeps growing. In fact, just to record this video, I had to stop and think about, well, who am I today? I know who I used to be. I know the parts of myself that are still there that I've identified with in the past. I know what my truth was. Some of it I've had to let go of because personal growth is about just that, growing and developing and unfolding into your greater yet to be. So your identity can change, but most people haven't stopped to figure out who they are in the first place. Why is that important? Well, because who you are is a sum of everything I just mentioned in that little story of your beliefs and your values and your needs and your thought patterns and the way you think and do and finally act, because all of that, including the action, gets you results, outcomes. Like flying a plane into a building will get you a certain result based on what you believe. And you fulfilled your needs and you stayed true to your values and you killed a bunch of people. Not you. Not you. Never, not you, but you know what I'm saying. I use that negative story for a positive reason, to serve you and to think about, well, who the heck are you? Who are you? And how can that be the thing that's stopping you? Because here's the reason, here's the answer to that. Because again, who you are in the face of fear, in the face of doubt, in the face of a lack of confidence, in the face of confusion. Who you are determines who you will be in the face of those things that could stop you ultimately. So underneath it all has to be about who you're being, who you are, your identity. Remember, you're a human being. You're not a human doing. You're a human being. So who are you being? Who are you? Have you answered that question? Most people haven't. Most people haven't pondered it. Most people may have answered it years ago and thought they knew who they were, like what you do. Many people attach what you do and what you have to who you are, right? So let me give you another example, a little bit of well, it's not really a story, but I'm just going to use it as an example. A doctor who goes to school for 12 years or so. You know, they go to college and then they go to medical school and then they become a resident, and it takes a long time to actually become a doctor. And there's a lot of knowledge acquired, and depending on where you went to school, there's a lot of beliefs and knowledge and standards and requirements that a doctor has to live up to in order to be a doctor. So it's real easy then, through all of that training, to identify with doctor, to identify as, well, you ask a doctor who they are, and I'm a doctor. No, that's what you do. That's what you do. That's not who you are. Because if you're attaching what you do to who you are, then when you show up to do doctoring with a patient, then you are going to approach it with a certain set of beliefs and values and needs and thinking and thought patterns and actions that are in accordance to that whole system. Yeah? Doctoring. But wouldn't you agree with me that a doctor showing up for a patient and a doctor who identifies themselves as a healer showing up with a patient would show up differently? There's a doctor who shows up in a system, a medical system, and then there's another doctor who identifies as a healer. And therefore, if they are a healer and that's their mission in life and that's their identity and who they really are is a healer, then they're going to take a more holistic approach to a patient and how to treat a patient than a doctor will. And I'm not saying that they both might arrive at the same outcome for healing the body, but a healer may look at other things that just a mere doctor who identifies themselves as just being a doctor would miss, like the mental aspect of healing, like the environmental aspect of healing, the relationships of healing. A doctor who identifies as a healer will approach being a doctor differently. Now that applies for just about anything. Martial arts, which is a big part of my life, sensei. It would be easy for me to identify myself as teacher, sensei. Teachers who show up merely to teach kids, students, a bunch of martial arts, a bunch of techniques, and just teach a system, versus a teacher who identifies themselves as sort of a catalyst for change, or a hero for a lot of students, I don't know. There's lots of ways in which a sensei could identify beyond just being a teacher. And they would show up differently every time they bow into the mat. Every time they bow in with their class, they would show up and they would approach the teaching of whatever system or art they're teaching differently, because they have a different identity that's above and beyond mere teacher. And a teacher in school, same thing. Same thing. If a teacher in school is a catalyst for knowledge and development of the person, they're going to approach teaching differently than a teacher who shows up to teach a system that they've been told to teach. Yeah? I know that for a fact because my daughter, who's in second grade right now as we speak, has one of those teachers who's above and beyond teaching. She doesn't identify with just mere teaching. I guarantee you, she is a catalyst for an inspirer for knowledge for children and setting them on a path as they grow and develop. She's therefore, most parents would call her an amazing, incredible, outstanding teacher. Excellence. But her identity is more than teaching. It's more than that. You follow? Your identity is what is stopping you. Because if you think it's fear, if you think it's confusion, you don't know what to do, how to do it, if you think any of that, then check in with yourself and ask yourself who you are. And here's how I like to teach this. I like to use archetypes, okay? Because it poses a different question for you. Because, if, in other words, you are a hero, you identify yourself as being a hero, or you want to be a hero, then how do you think a hero handles fear? a true hero will handle fear differently than the average person. Wouldn't you agree with that? So I like to use archetypes and finding out what resonates with you the most as you use a list of archetypes, and finding out what resonates with you the most so that you can begin to have something on paper, something in the forefront of your mind to attach to that resonates with you, your heart, your soul, your spirit, who you are, that you can remember that, oh, here's fear again, but who am I? I'm a hero. I'm a warrior. Yeah, warriors and heroes feel fear, but they do it anyway, right? A servant might not bust through fear in the same way that a hero does, right? So a lot of times it's not just who you are, but who you need to be in order to be, do, and have everything you want to be, do, and have. Who do you need to be? These are questions that you have to discover after you turn this video off and sit with yourself and ask yourself, well, who am I? So I have here a little bit of a list, a small list of archetypes that I've used in the past or that people have used, my students have used, to come up with a way of identifying who they are. Hero, warrior, teacher, healer, magician, alchemist, joker. I've had some people who are, there's nothing wrong with being a joker. I've had people who are students of mine who are comedians, and that there's great value in making people laugh. In a world where there's so many reasons and so much information coming at us that give us reasons not to laugh, a joker is a very important identity, right? We need entertainers, we need jokers. But here, let me keep going. A mystic, a shaman, a peacemaker, a catalyst. What is it for you? And as I started to prepare for this video and just kind of think about what I wanted to say, I started to think about my own identity. Like, I know who I used to be, like sensei equals teacher and martial arts warrior. But I want to go beyond that, and I have gone and grown beyond that. Like, who am I today? Well, as I started to think about it, and in a world, I want to leave an imprint. I want to be a beneficial presence on the planet. And I can't be the type of beneficial presence on the planet and make the type of imprint that I want to make by merely just teaching you, or teaching a student, or teaching a room full of people from the stage speaking about it. It's got to be more than that for me. And so I really had to sit with myself and ponder, well, who am I? Who am I being? And who do I need to be in order to leave that legacy and to be a beneficial presence on the planet? And I'm really a change agent. That's part of my identity. Yeah, warrior, teacher, parts of my identity, right? It doesn't have to be just one thing. And certainly it's evolved and grown through time and over time. But I'm a change agent. I'm a catalyst for change, because change is certainly, one of the things that's very needed in the world on a personal level, on an individual level. We all need to change and grow and evolve, but on a mass level too. And I want to affect a lot of people. I want to affect the masses in what I do. And so that's why I speak from the stage. That's why I want to write books. That's why I'm doing these videos, is to affect more than just a few students in a dojo somewhere, or a few clients in a room, a hotel room somewhere, or a few hundred people from the stage. I really want to leave a bigger legacy than that. So, because the world needs it, really, frankly. The world needs me, the world needs you, the world needs all of us to be better, to be more of who we really are meant to be. And so, yeah, all of these things I've just mentioned are part of my identity and who I am. I'm an inspirer. I want to inspire you to what? And I had to think about that before I hit the record button for this video. And one of the things that came to me is, I want to inspire you to conquer. So I want to be a conqueror. I want to teach how to conquer these things. So I'm a way shower on the path of vanquishing or conquering these things that are stopping you. These things, everything I listed: doubt and fear and anxiety and worry and lack of confusion, lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem. Conquering the things that have been mastering you so that you become the master over them, so that you are on the path of life mastery. As am I. I'm not claiming to be a life master. I'm claiming that I'm on the path of it because I'm interested in it, because I'm interested in what it can do for me, my family, my community, the people I want to serve, the world in general, the world at large. We can all make a difference. But it's got to be intentional. We have to intend it. And we won't know what we're intending until we get a good sense and a good grasp on who we are. So I'm a way shower of how to conquer those things. And it's funny, as I was thinking about that, it brought me back to, I'm really a servant. I'm really a servant, and I'll probably end this video by saying, I hope it serves you in some way. I want to serve you. But by serving you, I'm serving what? I'm serving the universe. I'm serving the world at large. And so all of these things are parts of who I am. Now, having said that, who I am then, those things, if I'm being true, if I'm standing in my truth, my identity, and who I am as a way shower to conquer the things that have been holding you back, that have been conquering you thus far, and I'm a servant, if those are really strong parts of my identity and being an inspirer and a catalyst for change, then how I show up in the face of fear will be different. I'll do it anyway. I will feel the fear and do it anyway because that's who I am, right? Not because I don't know who I am and fear shows up and, that guy, that personal mastery expert, that life mastery expert said, I got to feel the fear and do it anyway. And fear is really false evidence appearing real. And so I'm just going to do it. It doesn't work. The subconscious mind is too powerful. Fear is a survival mechanism, right? We really want to identify, because when we have that identity, let's use myself as an example, when I have that identity, my beliefs, my needs, my values change. They expand. My actions, my thoughts, my speaking patterns, the way I think, my outcomes change. They expand because I'm being true to myself. I'm being who I am. So it's who you are in the face of those things that have been stopping you, in the face of your lack of discipline, right? Your lack of focus. I mean, the number one fear in the United States, at least, it's been shown to be fear of public speaking. Some people fear public speaking over death, So, because what's the real fear underneath that, though? It's not speaking in public. We do that all the time. What's the real fear? Other people's opinions. Fear of screwing up. Fear of what other people will think about us. That's the real fear behind the fear of public speaking. And if I let that stop me, I wouldn't have turned this camera on. What am I doing right now? I'm publicly speaking for the world to see. Not just people in the United States. YouTube is accessible around the world. I'm here with my camera on, and I'm loading this video onto YouTube, a very public platform. And of course, I have a little bit of an ego. I can take things personally. If people make a bad comment on this video about me, I could take that personally. If I could let that fear well up in me if I pondered it too much. But because I'm on a mission, because I'm standing in my truth, I'm a way shower, I'm a conqueror, or helping people conquer, and a servant, then those things help me to push past any fear I might have of a negative comment on a public platform like this. You follow? So who you are, decide it, think about it, ponder it. I hope I've given you some ways to think about this. Archetypes are a great way to think about it. And go on Google, get a list of archetypes, and search out, are you a sorcerer? Are you a magician? Are you an entertainer? Are you a hero? Are you, are you some of all of it? Because of course you're going to be some of all of it. There's pieces of all of that in me, but that really helps me identify. And I hope I've shared with you how it helps me identify who and what I'm being in the world, my truth, what I'm up to in terms of what I do in the personal development and life mastery world. And I hope it helps you identify whatever you're up to in life and how you're serving and how you're helping others and how you can bust past the things that are stopping you from doing just that, right? That was the point of this video. What is stopping you? It wasn't what you think. I hope I've made the case that yes, it's part of what you thought. Fear is part of it, but it's really your identity. Because that's going to, once you understand it, or once you at least have a sense of it, a grasp of it, then you will start to have a whole new set of beliefs. Because you can ask yourself the next question. Well, if you're a way shower, if you're showing people how to conquer their fears, then what do you believe? What do I believe? I have to ask myself that same question. What do I believe? What are my beliefs? And I have to challenge old beliefs. And the way you challenge a belief that's not serving you, a limiting belief, like I brought up self-esteem earlier in this video, like if you believe that you're not worthy of that kind of life, you're not deserving of it, you're not good enough, then you have to ask yourself, is it true? Is that true? And where did I learn that? Did I decide it, or did somebody decide it for me and give it to me at a very early age and I've thought it all along? But is it no longer true? Can a belief no longer be true? Yes, beliefs can change when your identity changes. Let me give you a real quick example. When you were there was a time in your life when you were 5 years old and you knew it and you believed it. If you're watching this video, the chances are you're not 5 years old anymore. So do you believe you're 5 years old today? Right now? No. So beliefs can change and do change with new information that becomes available. So you have to give yourself new information to change a limiting belief like I'm not good enough or I'm not deserving. And if you know who you are, and if you're a warrior or a hero, then, a conqueror, what else I got on here? A magician, an alchemist, then you're going to have different beliefs. Decide what those are. Those beliefs will create a whole new set of values for you, put you on a path, a mission, create a whole new set of needs for you to fulfill, a whole new way of thinking and looking, a whole new perspective. In other words, change your perspective, you change your life, right? Change your mind, change your life. Change how you feel, changes your life. Everything I'm listing is just topics for another video. So like I said, stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. I hope this has served you in some way. I don't want to keep rambling on in this video. I think you get the point. Change who you are. You will change a system of beliefs and thoughts and values and thinking and who you are in the face of the common things that we think stop us. Habits and fear and lack of discipline and focus and all of those things. Who you are in the face of those things will help you conquer those things instead of having those things continue to conquer you and continue to stop you. Nothing should stop you from being who you're really meant to be. Don't let it. And once you know your truth, you won't. I hope I've served you in some way. Hit the subscribe button. More to come. Stay tuned. Until then, peace and blessings.